Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's up, everybody? Let me pin a comment here so everybody knows what the deal is. As y'all are checking in, let me see if we got anybody checking in over on Facebook. Facebook doesn't give me as much information, but if y'all checking in on Instagram, post in the comments. Tell me your name and location. Tell me your name and location. Facebook, what's good? Tell me your name and location over there on Facebook. My Facebook is Work On Your Game, by the way, for those you don't know. My Instagram is at Dre Baldwin. For those you don't know, I'm easy to find on any platform. Just type my name in. It's everywhere. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're checking this. If you're checking this on replay, hopefully you check it before December 15th because this is a time-sensitive message that I'm delivering right now. This is a time-sensitive situation. So as y'all checking in, shout yourselves out in the comments section. We're going to get into it in a minute. Brethren checking in from Akron, Ohio. Do you know LeBron James, brethren? Shout out to Akron. Just Dimes checking in from Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. K-I-R-E. Is that Kyrie or Kyre? Cincinnati. Shout out to Cincinnati. We got another person from Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. We got two people from Brooklyn already. Greg says use the camera so that you can read your book and hat. I don't know what that means, Greg, but I appreciate you either way. Colorado is in the building. Shout out to Colorado. Shout out to everybody living in cold climates. All right. Shout out to everybody living where it's 80 degrees. I think that's only South Florida. Kyrie. All right. Shout out Kyrie. Shout out Kyrie Irving. Y'all think he's gonna play this season? But anyway, we're going to get into this right now. I don't want to take too much time because I have an interview at 11 o'clock, then a clubhouse room after that, and another interview after that. What I want to share with you all, first of all, let me introduce myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, former 9-year pro athlete. I'm the author of 29 books. This is my latest book. It's called The Third Day. This is the book that I'm working and promoting right now. But you can see a bunch of my other books right there behind me. You see Work On Your Game right there. You see the Bulletproof Bundle right there. You see the Overseas Basketball Blueprint right there. 30 Days of Discipline, Bulletproof Mindset, Mental Workbook. My Overseas Blueprint Bundle books are right there. You see the Work On Your Game hoodie right there. What else we got over there? I don't even know which ones that is. But you see, I got a lot of books. I've written 29 books. This is my latest one. It is called The Third Day, The Decision that Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. I'll tell you about this later on in this conversation. And I created this whole brand. I created this whole framework, this whole business. It's called Work On Your Game. What it's all about is taking the mental tools that help you get to the top 1% in the sports world and applying those same tools to work and into everyday life. Now, I teach that in many different formats. One of them is doing videos like this live stream you're watching right here. I got like 8,000 videos on YouTube. That is not an exaggeration. That's actually an underestimation. I probably have more than 8,000 videos on YouTube. I have a daily podcast called Work On Your Game that has over 2,000 episodes. That is daily, 2,000 episodes. Again, that is an underestimation, not an overestimation. I've written 29 books, as I told you. That's an exact number. And I post on social media. Y'all, if you follow me on either of these platforms, you see the stuff that I post. But here's the other thing that I'm doing that I want you to know about. Some of you might not know about this, and it's not your fault that you don't know. It's my fault because I didn't get the word out to you. I have a live event coming up. Another live event. I did one this past August. I'm doing another one in January. It is called Work On Your Game Live. It took me a lot of time to come up with that name, but it's called Work On Your Game Live. It's happening January 21st and 22nd here in Miami, Florida. Let me show you what Miami, can I flip this camera around? All right, so there's Miami right there. All right, so as you can see, you can hardly even point out any clouds in the sky. It is as warm as it looks. It's about 80 degrees today. It is beautiful here every single day. I mean, I don't know why you would not want to live here, but if you don't, we'll figure that out later. All right, but right now, let's focus on Work On Your Game Live, which is January 21st, 22nd. At this event, leadership on day 1, communication on day 2. I'm going to be going deep into my personal vault of the best game that I have created over the years. I told you, 8,000 videos, 29 books, 2,000 podcast episodes. Do I have any more that I can share? It's like the Jay-Z song, What More Can I Say? There's a lot more that I can share. There's a lot deeper that I can go. And here's the great thing about this event is that you get the personalized attention from me on how you can take your game in these 2 specific areas to its highest possible level. So what I want to share with you here today, I'm going to give you 10 reasons, not 1, not 17, not 12, 10 reasons for you to come here to Miami for Work On Your Game Live. The reason why I'm talking about this now, because I just told you the event is January 21st and 22nd, so that's like 6 weeks away. 6 weeks is not a long time. But December 15th, which is 8 days from now, is the last day you can get a ticket to this event. You cannot get a ticket after next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the last chance for anyone to get a ticket to this event. So if you're coming to this event, you need to get a ticket now. So I'm making this video right now. I'm doing this live. But if you happen to be watching this on recording, understand if I keep mentioning December 15th, understand that that's December 15th, 2021. So if you watch this later, then it does not apply to this. But I will have more events. So if you miss this one and you're watching this like 2 years later, then you could apply it to the next event, because the link is workonyourgame.live, which y'all can see right there on Instagram. You can just go there and see whenever the next event is and if there is a next event. And by the way, I will respond to all comments at the end of this live. So anybody who's posting a comment right now, I will respond to your comments at the end of this. We're not going to take too long. So let's get right into it. Again, I told you I'm going to give you 10 reasons to come to Work on Your Game Live. This is a 2-day event, Miami, Florida. It's beautiful out here. I just showed you how beautiful it is. Look it up on the Weather Channel app. You can see what the weather is right now. I'm going to be teaching the full 2 days. I'm going to give you all the game that I have on these two subjects. You will not leave that room with any questions, any challenges that have not been addressed and handled. Everything will be handled in that room on January 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and a Saturday. So you should get here on Thursday and leave on Sunday. But we'll talk about that later on. Number one, let's get right into it. Number one, the best version of yourself. You being the best version of yourself. Understand something. This is not a random occurrence. This is not something that just randomly happens. All of you have heard of all of you understand the concept of puberty, right? Puberty is when a boy grows into a man or a girl grows into a woman. It's when our brains develop, our bones calcify, our bodies develop, our reproductive organs develop. Puberty usually happens between the ages of, let's say, 12 and 25-ish. Here's the thing about puberty. After the age of 25, no human being grows involuntarily anymore. In other words, if you're past the age of 25, or even if you're not, you will not grow and advance as a person any more than you voluntarily, consciously, intentionally choose to. All of that means this: if you're going to get better in life, besides the natural growth that you have as a human being because you drink water and you eat food, aside from that growth, the only way you're going to grow is that you got to do it on purpose. You must choose to. You got to choose to pull a book off the shelf and read it. You must choose to go to an event and take notes. You must choose to go get a coach or join a mastermind group or get the information from someone who can help you get to the next level. You cannot become the best version of yourself by default. You must do it on purpose. This must be intentional. Everybody follow what I said. That's the number one reason. And understand that you can learn how to tap into this person on call, but you must, again, you got to prepare yourself for this. This is not something that's just going to randomly happen. You're going to be the best version of yourself whenever you feel like it, just because you snap your fingers. Now, you can get to the point that you can snap your fingers and get into that best version of yourself, but that requires a certain level of preparation and work that needs to be done up front. If you have not yet done that work, it is not going to happen by itself. That's number one. Number two reason why you need to come here to Work on Your Game Live is because good, well-intentioned people often commit bad mental errors that cause you to fail in life. They slow you down, they block your success, they keep you from getting to where you want to get to. I talked about that in chapter 12 of this book right there. See that book right there, Work on Your Game? For those who are on Instagram, it's right there. If you're on Facebook, then it's right here. That book, chapter 12, I talked about poor mental errors that good people make all the time. The reason that those poor mental errors occur is not because you are stupid. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you're trying to be a failure. It is simply because you are unaware of these errors. 85% of our thoughts are habitual and unconscious. What does that mean? It means you think them without even thinking that you're thinking them. You don't even know what's going on in your own mind 85% of the time. This is all of us as human beings. This is just our wiring. So for you to catch these mental errors that you may be making consistently, the most important thing you have to do is get conscious about them. You have to recognize what is actually going on in your mind unconsciously 85% of the time. And the more conscious you are about it, now you can be aware of it. Now that you're aware of it, now you are empowered to do something about it. But if you're not aware of something going on, even if it's hurting you, how can you do anything about it? Well, that's a trick question. You can't do anything about something that you don't know about. So when you know about it, now you are empowered to do something about it. So these bad mental errors that all of us make all the time, you got to be conscious about them before you can do something about them. If you don't become conscious, and at Work on Your Game Live, I'm going to make them conscious for you. I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm going to explain to you how they're happening. You're going to understand it. And then I'm going to tell you what you can do about them. But if you don't become conscious, if you don't get this information, how can you do anything about it? Well, you can't. And that's a lifelong problem. You don't want to die with that problem. Point number 3. I'm giving you 10 reasons why you need to come to, where it's 10, 5 and 5. 10 reasons you need to come to Work on Your Game Live, January 21st and 22nd, Miami, Florida, with me. I'm going to be giving you my best game on leadership and communication. Number 3, motivation is for amateurs. Yes, you heard me correctly. Let me say it again. Motivation is for amateurs. Even though I have a book called The Mirror of Motivation. The reason I called it The Mirror of Motivation, not because I think you need to get motivated. I called it that because I think all you understand the concept of motivation. So I just use that as a way to sell the book. The third day, I got a chapter in this book where I tell you that motivation is for amateurs. Let me see if I can find that chapter while I'm sitting here talking to you all. You don't want motivation. All right, motivation is not the thing that you need. What you want in life is the third day. This is the mentality that moves you to show up and deliver every single time, even if you don't feel motivated, even if you're not excited, even if you're not really activated for the thing. You're not really getting the results that you want, so you're not kind of driven to go do the work again because you're not getting results. You might be even thinking about quitting. Understand that to be a professional in your role, you got to be willing and able to show up even when you don't feel like it, even when things are not working out. That's what makes the pros the pros. You think of your favorite professional in any area. I don't care if it's an actress, a singer, a rapper, a basketball player. Do they always feel motivated? You think Tom Brady's motivated every single day? You think LeBron James is motivated every night? You think Beyonce's motivated every time she does a show? Probably not. Actually, I would bet money the answer is hell no. They are not motivated every single time. But if you go watch them perform, you wouldn't know if they were motivated or not, because the performance is consistent and the same every single time. You know what professionals do? They do the same things the same way every time. That's why we pay them. That's why we depend on them. And if you want people to depend on you and pay you, then you got to be consistent in your efforts, the same things, the same way every time, regardless of how you feel. Motivations for amateurs, even though you might think some of the stuff that I put out and some of the stuff that I post, you might see it as motivational, and that's fine. There's no problem with you seeing anything that I put out as motivational, but understand there's a lot more to the game than just being motivated. Motivation is for 8th graders, because an 8th grader, if they're motivated, they'll play well. If they're not motivated, they play terribly. A professional, you can't afford that. You can't afford to show up on Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday and Thursday you don't feel like it, so you kind of half-ass. You'll get fired. You won't have a job anymore. You will completely go out of business. So understand that motivation is not what you need. What you need is the ability to show up on call every single time, regardless of how you feel. That is what the third day is about. That is what professionalism is about, and that's what people pay for. Nobody pays for random results. People pay for consistent, predictable results that they know exactly what they're going to get. Consistent inputs, duplicatable actions, and predictable results. That is what anyone pays for. When you hire a plumber, an electrician, the cable guy, a personal trainer, those are the things that you're looking for. Consistent inputs, duplicatable actions, predictable results. It doesn't matter how the person feels. Do you care how the cable guy feels if your cable hasn't been working for the last 3 days? Do you care how the plumber feels if there's a leak in your bathtub and you can't flush the toilet? You don't care how they feel. All you care about is that when you make that call and you pay that money, they fix the problem. And that is exactly how people are looking at you. And if you want to get paid at the highest level of what you do, you need to be that consistent in your work, regardless of your emotions and regardless of how you feel. Motivation is for amateurs. Number 3, let me go a little bit faster so I'll make sure I get through these. I'm giving you 10 reasons to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami, January 21st, 22nd in Miami, as I said. You need to know how to finish stronger than you start. And I'm going to answer all comments at the end of my 10 points here. Finishing stronger than you start. Any of you who's ever played a sport, you take a sport like boxing. You don't want to be killing your opponent in the first 5 rounds of the fight, then run out of energy the last 5 rounds. You might end up getting knocked out, get your ass kicked. In a basketball game, you don't want to be killing it, dominating at halftime, and then you don't have any energy for the second half. You end up losing the game. I was just playing chess online earlier today. I'm gonna write an article about this today. And this dude had me beat. I don't know who the person was. It's random people on the internet. This dude had me beat pretty bad. It looked like I was gonna lose the game. But I just kept playing. I said, let me just let him beat me. He's gonna have to beat me, but I'm gonna keep playing. And he kept making mistakes. I ended up beating him. He ended up resigning before the game was even over, simply because he didn't know how to finish the game. A lot of people can start games, but they don't know how to finish games. Drake says it in one of his songs. I've been listening to the Drake album. He said, tell the coach, leave me in. I like to finish games. You got to be able to finish the game. Finish stronger than you start. Because people remember is the primacy and the recency effect. Primacy effect is you remember the first thing. They call that the first impression. The recency effect is you remember the last thing. So if you finish strong, but you you start strong, but you finish weak, then people are going to leave with maybe a negative impression of you, not because you're not good, but simply because you didn't have enough gas in the tank to finish the game off. Any of you who's an athlete, you know, the last round of a boxing match, the fourth quarter of a football or a basketball game, the ninth inning of a baseball game, that's when the game gets finished. All your hard work culminates in you being able to finish the game. And it's the same thing in the business world. You got to be able to finish the game. You do all that selling and all that back and forth negotiating. Then it gets to the point where you say, all right, this is the deal. This is how much it's going to cost. Sign the contract. Let's shake hands. If you don't get that part, all of the work that you did leading up to that point doesn't matter. Right? So you got to be willing to finish. You got to be willing and able to finish every single game that you start. And you're going to learn how to do that and work on your game live, because finishing strong today sets the table for you to start strong tomorrow. So everything that you start, you got to be able to finish. You got to finish your breakfast, like Jay-Z said in the song. Point number 5, we are talking 10 reasons to come to work on your game live. Understand that the best performers out there, they not only have they mastered the third day, which I talk about in this book, which if you haven't gotten this, go to the link in my bio and get your free copy. They also exist in a permanent state of what I call the fourth day. Yes, the fourth day. You're like, wait a minute, Dre, you got a book called The Third Day. Now you're telling me about the fourth day? Are you about to sell me another book? Not yet. But the fourth day is covered right here, page 138 of my book, Work on Your Game. As you can see it right there. You see that? Facebook? The fourth day, page 138. What is the fourth day? The fourth day is what happens when you show up consistently on the third day, and you get so good at showing up on the third day that that hard work does not get easier, but it feels easier and you make it look easy. That's what we call the fourth day. So any of you who's ever seen somebody who's a pro at what they do and they just make it look so easy, you're like, damn, how do you make that look so easy? It's so hard for me to do it, but they make it seem like they're not even trying. They go do all this athletic stuff and they're not even sweating. They figure out this problem and they didn't even have to think that hard about it. How is that? And often people make the mistake of thinking, oh, this person can make it look easy just because they're so talented, or they have so many resources, or they have so many options, or they have so much, whatever excuse people want to make for when somebody else can make the job look easy. The reason professionals can make a job look easy is because they exist in what we call the fourth day. How do you get to the fourth day? You get to the fourth day by showing up on the third day over and over and over again, to the point that now showing up on the third day is not hard anymore. You get used to it. You condition yourself for it. It becomes habit and routine for you. That's what the fourth day is all about. And if you want it permanently exist in the fourth day, actually, let me back up. You want to, not if, you want to permanently exist in the fourth day. The reason why is because you will make your work look easy. You'll be able to produce results consistently and in a duplicated way and in a way that you can predict. And when you can do that, people will pay you whatever you want. So anybody who's watching this want to make more money? Anybody watching this want to make more money at what you do? Let me tell you how you raise your price. Is that you get really good at doing some consistent things that people want, and then you do it over and over and over again in such a way that you can predict the result before you even do it. And when other people can predict it too, they will pay you whatever you want, because all they want is a result. It doesn't matter how much it costs when they know they're going to get a guaranteed result. That's what the fourth day is about. So any of you who wants to make more money, you need to learn how to get into the fourth day and stay there. But understand there's only one way to reach it. And I'm going to teach you that in Work on Your Game Live. And I'll give you a primer on it in this book right here. Go to thirddaybook.com. Use the copy. Number 6, I'm giving you 10 reasons why to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami. Understand that living with your highest possible level of confidence. Because most people, when I ask people, what do you want mindset-wise? Most people don't say, Dre, I want to learn how to be more disciplined. Most people don't say that. Most people say, I want to be confident. If you're watching me on Facebook, you see that yellow book right there, the Super You. Those of you watching on Instagram is right on the edge of the screen. You see it right there. That is a Super You. That is my book on confidence. Unlocking and living with your highest level of confidence. Understand that confidence is not luck. You do not become confident by luck. You do not become confident by just thinking about it, or writing something down, or what is it, the law of attraction. You think you just sit on the couch and talk about being confident, or you watch some YouTube video on confidence. That is not how you get confident. How you get confident, there is a process to it. There is a way to actually do it. There is a way to make yourself confident consistently. And I'll tell you right now off the top, confidence is created through discipline. Most people don't know that, and this is the reason why many people fail at being confident, because they go about it the wrong way. Confidence is created through discipline. That's why this book matters so much, because the discipline that you exude in utilizing this principle of the third day, this is where the confidence comes from. And in this book, I tell you, chapter 24, page 152, true confidence. Y'all see that Facebook? True confidence, page 152. comes from you enacting the principles and the mindset of the third day. But understand that Work on Your Game Live, I'm going to teach you how you can develop the leadership skills that will give you that confidence so that you can lead other people, and then how to communicate with confidence so that you can get your point across to other people. They will understand you, you will be effective, and you will be efficient in your communication so that you can get your point across, people will understand you, and they will be willing to do what you want them to do. Doesn't everybody want that? Don't you want to be able to influence people and persuade them and move them to action when you want them to? That is all part of confidence, and that confidence all comes from discipline. That's point number 6. Point number 7, I'm telling you 10 reasons why you want to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami, January 21st, 22nd. The deadline for tickets is next Wednesday, December 15th. Here's number 7 reason. Aggression. Everybody heard of aggression, right? Aggression is a good thing. Aggression is not a bad thing. Aggression is not negative. If you feel that you are an aggressive person, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You don't need to change anything. You just need to learn how to use your aggression in the right way. Aggression is defined as being forceful in going after a goal. That is what aggression is defined as. You have a determined outcome and you are forceful in going after it. Who here does not want to be forceful in going after their goals? Anybody who doesn't want to be forceful in going after their goals, you just want to sit around and just be passive and hope that it happens? I don't think anybody. So being aggressive is a good thing when you know how to use aggression. Now, I'm not telling you need to just go out and be aggressive all the time and be an asshole and try to start fights with people. That's not what aggression, that's not the entire definition of aggression. You got to learn how to use aggression, learn how to channel it in the proper way, and you can create any outcome that you want, but you have to understand what it is, understand how to use it, and then learn how to use it in a way that will get you the results that you want. To even with the people that you're dealing with, they will be happy that you are willing to be aggressive. Any of you who's a salesperson, if you're not willing to be aggressive, you're not going to make many sales. And as the late, great Zig Ziglar said, timid salespeople have skinny kids. You had to be willing to be aggressive to get what you want in life, and then you got to learn how to use it the right way. You will learn all of that at Work on Your Game Live. Day 1, where we talking leadership, you're going to learn how to use aggression. Point number 8, I'm giving you 10 reasons to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami. Number 8, to be your best in life, you cannot be negotiating with yourself. What does that mean? How many people today, you don't have to admit it out loud, how many of you today, when your alarm went off this morning, you didn't immediately get out of bed? How many of you, when you were supposed to go to the gym today at 6 o'clock, but you didn't get to the gym till 6:30? How many of you were supposed to do something this morning? It's 10:30 a.m. Eastern when I'm recording this. How many of you were supposed to do something this morning? You haven't done it yet. You put it off until later, or you put it off till tomorrow, or you just didn't do it at all. And you're watching this live stream as a way to procrastinate and not do what you're supposed to do. Y'all saw what I just posted on IG today. Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. You cannot get to your best self and to your best outcomes in life if you're negotiating with yourself all the time. In other words, if you tell yourself, I'm getting up at 5:45, when that alarm goes off at 5:45, you get your ass out of the bed. If you tell yourself that I'm going to the gym after work, you don't go to happy hour after work or go see some girl or go hang with your friends after work. You go to the gym like you told yourself you're going to do. Anything you tell yourself you're going to do, go do it. The same way that if your boss told you to do it, or your drill sergeant told you to do it, or your mom or dad told you to do it when you were a kid, or your teacher told you to do it when you were a student, you would go do it. And there wouldn't be any conversation, no back and forth, no trivia. But why can't you have that same discipline with yourself? In the third day, I explained to you how to do that, but also at Work on Your Game Live, we're going to go even deeper, and I'm going to explain to you how to put some systems and processes and strategies in place to where you are never again negotiating with yourself. Because day 1, when we talk leadership, you can't lead other people if you can't lead yourself. If you can't move yourself to action and do what you need to do for yourself, how are you going to lead anybody else to action? Why would anybody else listen to you if you don't even listen to you? So at Work on Your Game Live, day 1, we're going to talk leadership and how you can actually stop negotiating with yourself and get things done the way they're supposed to get done. Point number 9. Today I'm giving you 10 reasons to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami, January 21st, 22nd. Next Wednesday is the last day to get tickets. Number 9, communication is everything. What am I doing with you right now? I am communicating with you. I'm giving you some ideas. I'm giving you some principles. I'm giving you some strategies. And on my podcast, I do this. On Instagram, I do it. On my stories, on YouTube, when I do a live speaking gig, when I do my live event, Work on Your Game Live, when I write my captions, when I write my articles and emails, when I write my books. What am I doing? I am communicating. I'm taking a knowledge or an idea or perspective that's in my mind, and I'm getting it to you in a way that you can understand. Communication is everything. If you can't get whatever's in your head out to other people for them to understand how you see things, then how are you ever going to get ahead in life? How can you get hired for a job if you can't communicate what you bring to the table? How can you get a date or get in a relationship with somebody if you can't communicate who you are, what your principles are, and what you're about? How can you ever get anyone to buy something from you if you can't communicate to them why buying from you is actually going to help them and make their life better? If you cannot communicate, then you will never get ahead in life. There's very little you're going to be able to get done. Communication is everything. It is a paramount skill. And understand that there are different modalities of communication. There is verbal communication, like me talking to you right now. There's communication through, let's say if you couldn't see me, you could just hear me, you got audio communication. Through that, we have podcasts and audiobooks. Then you have written communication. Things like this book, The Third Day, like the articles that I send out, like the emails that I write. You need to be able to communicate whatever is in your mind, in your mind, knowledge, opinions, whatever. You need to be able to get it across to other people. Because if they don't understand what is going on in your head and only you understand it, what it leads to is frustration, because you have something that you want to share, but you can't quite get it across to other people. Your ability to communicate is the lid, or it's the rocket fuel behind how far you're going to go career-wise. How can you sell anything if you can't communicate? How can you get a job? How can you get into a relationship? How can you get people to know, like, and trust you? How can you win friends and influence people if you lack communication skill? At Work on Your Game Live, we're spending an entire day on communication. Verbal communication, written communication, the skill of brevity, how to say more with less, how to make your point with impact, how to communicate effectively and efficiently in such a way that you actually move people to do what you want them to do, or think how you want them to think, or see what you want them to see. Understand the purpose of communication is not just so you can hear yourself talk and you can feel good about whatever you said. It's to create a specific outcome. You need to know what your outcome is, how you're going to communicate it, and then actually do it. All of that we're going to be covering day 2, Work on Your Game Live, the skill, again, communication. Communication is everything. Point number 10, this is the last one. And I'm going to respond to all questions and comments right after this. I'm giving you 10 reasons to come to Work on Your Game Live, Miami, Florida, January 21st to 22nd. Number 10, money is only 20% of investing in yourself. You know, when I put anything out about these events, or I put something out about the book, this book, we tell you to cover the shipping, it's $9.95. I get people complaining, well, why I got to pay $9.95 shipping? Or I say, hey, come to Work on Your Game Live. They say, well, damn, how much is the ticket? I didn't know the ticket was going to cost that much. Everybody, when they think about investing in themselves, usually the first thing people default to is money. All right, how much money does it cost? I don't have that much money. No, what am I going to do? I can't afford this. I can't afford that. I don't have the money in my account. I hear this stuff every day. I get emails like this every single day, and text message people every single day talking this stuff. Understand something. Investing in yourself is not just about money. There are 4 other ways to invest in yourself. You got time, attention, energy, and focus. You got to put all of these into anything that you achieve in life, and understand something else. If you invest in something, let's just talk money. You invest in something with money, and whatever you invested in gives you back more return than what you had to put in, i.e. how much it costs, then it didn't actually cost you anything. The investment actually pays you back. So if I invest $50 a month in going to the gym, right? And then I go to the gym and I work out and I get in better shape and that my lungs are healthy. That means I live longer. I can stave off diseases because I got a stronger immune system. I got big muscles, so girls like me. So now I get to meet the females that I want to meet. Is that worth at least $50 a month to me? If my answer is yes, then the gym membership costs me nothing. Actually, the gym is paying me because I'm getting more return on my investment than I'm actually making in investment. So this book right here, when I say cover the shipping, whatever the shipping is, if whatever you get out of the book is worth more than that $9, then this book is actually paying you more than you are paying for it. That is a mindset. All right, now I just explained that to you logically, but you need to understand it emotionally because that's what investment is all about. And people who get ahead in life understand that they all make investments in themselves. You look around the people who you know. Look around the 3 most successful people you know. They are always making investments into themselves. And the only reason it makes sense for them is not because they have so much money to just invest all the time. They're making money on every investment that they make. So they're able to put money in because they're getting more back in return than what they had to put in at the beginning. This is the mindset of investing. Too many people out here, you have poor mindsets, you have broke mentalities, and this is why you stay poor and you stay broke, because you are thinking like a poor or broke person. If you don't want to be that person, you got to stop thinking like that. In the mirror of motivation, I told you, there's 3 steps in the process. Be, do, have. In that order. Not have money, then think like a rich person. No. Have the mentality of a person who understands the concept of investing. Then you do the investing. Then you have the stuff that you want to have. Too many of you are doing this equation completely backwards, and then you wonder why whenever you see something that you want and then you're like, well, I can't afford it. Well, your mindset is telling you that you can't afford it, but what you actually can't afford is to not do it. But all of this, I'm going to be covering in detail at Work on Your Game Live. That'll also be leadership day 1 and communication day 2, because for you to sell anything, to persuade anybody, you got to be able to explain to them why investing in themselves is actually worth it, because they might be looking at things the same way that some of you might have been looking at things up to this point. So with all that said, these 10 reasons, this is why you're going to come to Work on Your Game Live in Miami, January 21st to 22nd. Let me recap the 10 real quick, and I'm going to take questions. So if you got a question or comment on anything I just said, post it in the comments right now, and I'm going to respond to it. Number 1, the best version of yourself is not a random occurrence. Number 2, people are making mental errors all the time unconsciously, and if you don't recognize them, there's nothing you can do about them. Number 3, motivation is for amateurs. Number 4, you must learn how to finish stronger than you start. Number 5, the best performers exist in the 4th day permanently, not on the 3rd day, but the 4th day. Number 6, living with your highest level of confidence is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of strategy. Number 7, aggression is a good thing when you learn how to channel it and you know what aggression actually is. Number 8, you cannot be negotiating with yourself. If you're going to be a high level professional, you must be consistent in your actions and your intentions. Number 9, communication is everything. If you cannot get your point across to other people, you will not get far in life. And number 10, money is only 20% of investing, and the investments that you make in yourself, if you make wise investments, the investments are actually paying you. You are not paying them. With all that said, my live event is called Work on Your Game Live. You see the link right there, workonyourgame.live. Next Wednesday, December 15th, is the last possible day to get your ticket to that event. If you haven't gotten it yet, or you haven't even been to the site yet, go to workonyourgame.live, see everything that we're going to cover there. I just told you about, but see everything in detail. It's on paper, it's written down, so that you know I'm not bullshitting you, I'm not just making this up. It's all written down. Get the ticket to Work on Your Game Live. Once you get your ticket, if you want any help with, all right, what hotel am I going to stay at? Are you going to have food? Where can I eat? What flight should I get? What day should I come into town? What day should I leave? My event manager, Charlene, will help you with all of that. All you got to do is get your ticket at workonyourgame.live. Charlene will get in touch with you. She will call you, and she will help you with all of that. So you will, trust me, you won't be left out in the dark here at Work on Your Game Live. So all of that will be covered. All that said, now I'm going to respond to a couple of comments. So if you got a question or comment, go ahead and post it right now, and let's see what we can address. Let's see here. Calvin said, I've been following Dre since 2010 or 2009. I read 2 of his books. Shout out to you, Calvin. Calvin, I got 27 more books. See all those books behind me? So whatever you didn't read, I'll sell you the rest of them. So Calvin, hit me in the DM. I'll tell you which one to get next. Rob, X3 Rob said, I would love to get to Florida, especially with how they handle this world event. You're right. I agree with you, Rob. I would love to be in Florida too, because, oh yeah, at Work on Your Game Live, there's no social distancing, there's no vaccine mandates, and there are no masks. Masks are banned. You're not allowed to wear a mask in my event, just in case anybody was wondering. All right. Let's see what else we got here. If you got a question or comment, post it now. I'll take a couple minutes, see if somebody come in. Arbino M. Library getting bigger, yes. Arbin, if you come to Work on Your Game Live, you can't come in with that mask on that you got on in your profile picture. Devin Scott, what's going on, my man? Calvin, 1975. It's good. All right, so I'm gonna wait a couple seconds, see if anybody else got a question or comment. This book, The Third Day, The Decision Separates the Pros from the Amateurs, is the book that I'm working this right now. I'm promoting this right now. If you have not yet claimed your free copy of this book, yes, I'll give you the book free. All you're gonna do is cover the shipping by going to thirddaybook.com. That is the link in my bio here on Instagram. Oh, and by the way, if y'all haven't texted me, I got a daily motivation text that I send out every single day. If you want to get the daily motivation text every day, just text me at that number that I just posted in the comment right there, 305-384-6894. The text is completely free of charge. Every morning you're going to get a daily motivation text straight from me. That's a message that's guaranteed to keep you focused, sharp, and on point every single day. So if I could do a YouTube video, I put out 2 YouTube videos a day, podcast episode every day. How easy do you think it is for me to come up with a text message every day? It's easy. That's only because I've been doing it over and over again. This is not some random talent. This is something that I worked on. So text me and you get my daily motivation text every day. I got an interview in 14 minutes, so I'm going to take a couple more minutes here. Then I'm going to rest my voice a little bit before I have to talk for another hour straight. So Work on Your Game Live, workonyourgame.live is where you get your ticket to that event. Again, next Wednesday, December 15th, is the last possible day to get your ticket to that event. So here's your order of operations. Here's your call to action right now. Number 1, go to workonyourgame.live right now and go see everything that we're going to be doing at that event. That's number one. Number two, get your ticket to Work On Your Game Live. Number three, text me at that number, 305-384-6894, so you get my daily motivation text, and that is me you are texting. So if you have a question about the event, if you have a challenge about maybe getting your ticket to the event, text me at that number. I will reply back to you, and you will be talking directly to me, and we will get all that settled. So make sure that you get your ticket before we close the cart and you cannot get your ticket anymore. And then after that, my event manager, Charlene, will be in touch. We will help you get your arrangements, your travel, your lodging, all of that stuff for Work On Your Game Live. Again, that is January 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and a Saturday here in Miami, Florida. It's 80 degrees today. The balcony door is wide open, as you can see. All right, it's beautiful weather out here. Where else would you rather be? All right, do you want to be in the snow? You want to have a coat on? You want to be somewhere where they make you wear a mask just to walk in the grocery store? Why would you do that? I don't know. But anyway, let me give myself some rest here before I get on this next interview. Y'all know what it is. Hit me in the DM or send me a text. You got a question, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms. Work on your game. Dre all day.